Hello, everyone. Welcome back. How's everyone doing? I can see some new faces today. Wonderful. That's lovely. Can I request you all to please switch on your cameras? I don't like speaking to names. Yeah? Thank you. Thank you, Jagisha. Thank you, Priyanka. That's lovely, Mayuresh, Chandrasekhar. Superb. I can see Nagaraju, Lower Raju. Great, great, great. Guys, please switch on your cameras. Super. Let's get started. So once again, welcome back, everyone. Over the past two sessions, we've explored the foundations of effective communication, how clarity and confidence can make your message impactful, right? We also discussed how to structure your thoughts, engage your audience, and also how to overcome your nerves, right? So today, we are taking it a step further. All right. We are diving into a skill that's often overlooked, but is absolutely crucial if you want to elevate your communication to the next level. All right. Everyone with me until now? Yeah. So we had a quick recap of what we did in the past two sessions. Okay. So before we start with today's topic, I want you all to probably imagine this scenario. Now, what this scenario is. You are in a team meeting, okay? And your colleague is presenting in front of you, okay? Now, obviously, if he has to present, he has definitely put in some efforts or maybe a lot of efforts, right? To stand there and present something. But as you see, the person starts talking in front of you, your mind starts drifting, right? It starts to wander, right? Maybe you are thinking about the emails that you need to reply, or you're thinking about some deadline that you have to catch up on. You are nodding in front of him or her, okay, and showing that you are present there. Yeah, you're pretending. Yeah, you're a wonderful actor. You're pretending to be there, listening to that person. Yeah, but in your mind, you are mentally drafting that email, right? The email that you forgot to reply. And the next thing you know that you are thinking about what to have for dinner tonight, right? You are still nodding, but in reality, you are miles away, right? It's your brain that has packed its bag and gone on a mini vacation already, leaving everyone else stuck in that meeting. Yeah. Trying to look like you are paying attention. The presentation ends. But here's a question to you. Do you really listen to what they said? Did you really listen to what they said? Or did you miss on something very important? Okay, Now, one more scenario. I'll take you to a different scenario altogether. I'm sure a lot of you will resonate here. You are at home, okay? Finally unwinding after a long, tiring work day. Your child comes running up to you. Yeah, full of excitement. Mom, Dad, guess what happened today? They start. They are eager, bursting to tell you about their day, but your mind is still at work, right? Replaying that meeting, or you're planning for the next day's task. You are nodding, saying, hmm, 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 right? At the right moments. But later, when your child mentions it again, you realize you barely remember anything what they said, right? And it makes you wonder, what did I miss in that moment with them? Was I really listening? Was I really present? You are out for a coffee with one of your closest friend. Yeah. And they want to discuss something very important, something very crucial. Probably the friend is, uh, stressed out over something, maybe something very personal, maybe something very serious in his relationship, deeply very personal. Now you're listening. At least you think you are. But then your mind has again gone. It's wandering again. Maybe you are thinking what to respond to your friend, right? Or you're distracted by your mobile phone notification. With that, I recall I haven't put my mobile phone on silent now today. And I quickly do that. Thank you. Right? You nod. You say something, some words here and there, and you talk, pretending that you are actually understanding them, listening to them. And the conversation ends. And you have this question lingering again in your mind. My friend actually needed me today. Were you really there for them? Or did I miss the chance to truly connect? Does any of these moments resonate with you? Yeah. I know I have been there, and I'm willing to bet to you that you too have. One of the scenarios, right? We have all had those times when we are physically present, but not fully engaged in the conversation, right? And these moments, whether it's at your work, it's at your home, whether you're talking to your friends, to your partner, understand these are opportunities. Opportunities to connect, to understand, to really be there. But when you're not fully present, or when we are not fully present, we walk away with that feeling of something missing, right? Like we didn't really connect the way we should have. Or probably Vice versa, if you are in that situation, you may feel that the other person has not really understood, or you are not able to put across well. Something is wrong, something is missing. Yeah. So what's this missing piece? What's that one skill that could turn these scenarios around, making you more engaged, making you more effective, making you more connected in every interaction? And today, we are going to explore this one skill that will, or that can, elevate your communication instantly. And what's that? It's on your screen. Active listening. Now, what does this mean? Very simple, right? Is it? It's simple, but it's very powerful. And today you'll understand why. You'll understand why. By the end of this session today, you'll understand why the skill is so powerful, some common mistakes that we tend to make, and some practical ways to start listening better from now onwards, from today onwards. Cool? Let's dive deeper. So, it's not just about hearing the words someone is saying. Hearing is not listening. Listening is about truly understanding the message, picking up on the emotions behind those words, and showing that you are fully engaged. And when you master this active listening, you don't just hear what's being said, you connect with that person who's speaking. And that's where the magic happens. It transforms those interactions from mere exchange of words to moments of true connection. Active listening is not just about being polite or, just nodding all the time. It's about focusing your attention, not just on the words, as I said, but on the emotions, the body language, the underlying message. And when you practice active listening, you are telling that other person, I value what you are saying. I truly value what you're saying. And I'm here with you, fully present. And that simple act can change everything. Now let's revisit that team meeting again where your friend was talking. Instead of zoning out, if you would have practiced active listening, you're not just hearing the presentation. What you're doing is you're picking up on the enthusiasm your friend is showing, his concerns, the variation in his voice, and you ask thoughtful questions. You give feedback that shows that you really understood his or her point. And you'll see suddenly the dynamics in the room shifts. The person who is speaking, your friend, feels heard, valued, and the conversation becomes more collaborative. more productive. And this one simple act builds trust, teamwork, and drives you better outcomes. Now I want you to think about that moment with your child. Instead of letting your mind drift back to work, you choose to be fully present. You kneel down to their level, look them in their eyes, and listen. Really listen. You catch every detail, every bit of excitement in their voice. Later, when they bring it up again, you are able to recall exactly what they shared, and their face lights up because they know you were truly there with them. That's what active listening does at home. It strengthens your relationship, again, builds your trust, and shows your loved ones that they matter to you. But let's understand, there are some barriers to listening. It's not that you are doing it intentionally, it just happens, right? Right? Your mind tends to wander. Now, what are these barriers? Let's understand some common barriers today. What's stopping you from practicing, or what's stopping you from being actively present? The first one being distractions. Now, what's distraction here? Distractions are everywhere. Now you'll tell me that, right? I do understand. It's everywhere. Whether it's your phone that's buzzing with notifications, the email list that's piling up in your inbox, or even some random thoughts that popping in your head. These are all distractions, right? Which acts as a barrier to your active listening. Agree with me? Yes? In a world where multitasking is often praised, right? It's easy to fall in that trap of trying to do it all at once. Right? Listening, mobile notifications, listening to somebody, looking at the presentation, replying to emails, whatnot. We do so many things at the same time. We are masters of multitasking. But the truth is, it's distracting because you're not really listening to that person at that point of time when you are doing all of these things. You might hear the words, but you are missing the meaning behind it. You're missing the true context behind those conversations. Yes? Now, how do we? Okay, so think back of that same meeting where you were half listening. Okay, because your mind was on that upcoming deadline or on those emails, whatever. You missed on key point that could have changed the direction of that discussion altogether. Or at home when your child was sharing something important and you were checking your phone. You missed that opportunity to connect with them in that moment. What is that one thing, or what are the things that we can do to eliminate these distractions? The first thing being eliminate all the physical distraction. Now, what do I mean by that? What do I truly mean by that? Put away all the things that pulls your attention away. Just put it off, put it aside. The first step is putting your phone on silent or turning it face down so that you are not tempted to check it again and again, right? You see those lights, you see those notifications popping. Close all the unnecessary tabs from your computer during meetings. And set aside specific times to check your email so that you're not constantly interrupted. And at home, when you are at home, try to have those distraction-free times, like during dinner or when you're spending time or playing with your kids, having conversation with your partner. It's all about being fully present in that moment. Your focus is on them. Focus on the person speaking. So when you put your distractions away, you automatically tend to focus on the person speaking. When someone is talking to you, make that conscious effort to focus entirely on them. Looking them in their eyes, nodding to show that you are engaged, putting away all your distractions. It's all about being present in that moment, as I said. Let's move forward. Now, what's the next thing that's stopping us from active listening, or that's a barrier? Is this very important? Listening to respond, not to understand. Sounds familiar? Yeah? When we're listening to someone, we have that usual tendency, right? To respond, that urge to respond. We are not trying to understand. We miss to understand. We have that urge to respond. We are so eager to share our own thoughts, or so eager to provide that advice, that we start formulating our responses before the other person has even finished speaking. This means that instead of fully absorbing what's being said, we are half listening, missing out on the deeper connections or emotions behind the words. Missing those crucial details during a client discussion because you were too focused on preparing your next pitch. अब अगला इसको क्या बोलना है, और उस अगले के चक्कर में you're not listening what the client is trying to tell you, or what your boss is trying to tell you, or what your spouse is trying to tell you. वो urge होता है ना, to respond and finish it off quickly. We don't have that patience to listen. You fail to recognize the underlying emotions. This not only leads to miscommunication, but also makes the other person feel unheard and undervalued. Imagine those scenarios when I'm saying this and when this actually happened. Right? Recall? Do you recall any of the instances like this? I'm sure you do. So what do we do in such scenario? We practice reflective listening. What does that mean? Reflective listening. Before you respond, try to summarize what the other person just said. For example, you could say, so, Ashwini, if I'm hearing you right, Ashwini, you were saying these and then this and then this. Or, Gauri, it sounds like you're feeling really low. I truly understand what you're saying. Now, this one act truly forces you to listen to their words, and it shows them that you are trying to understand where they are coming from. You focus on the speaker's words and ensure that you have fully understood their message before even offering your thoughts. And on the other side, it gives the speaker, the person who's talking, also a chance to clarify if you have misunderstood anything. Got it? What is the next thing? Delay your response. Pause. Delay your response. Very effective strategy. When the other person finishes speaking, take a brief pause before you reply. And this pause doesn't have to be too long, just a few seconds to process what's been said. Take a brief moment to let their words sink in before you jump in their thoughts. Just enough time to really absorb what they have said. This helps you to avoid that urge to interrupt, and it gives you that space to consider their perspective more deeply. It's a simple technique which makes a huge, huge difference in the quality of your conversation. Now, after that person has taken, after that person is done, there's one way you can do is reflect and clarify. What's that? You might say something like, so what I'm hearing is 1, 2, 3, or what I'm hearing is, Padam, you're trying to say if this is not this way, but the other way around, for instance, okay? It sounds like you're saying the real scenario from the client interaction. I mean, just a vague example that I'm giving. They'll be like, wow, right? This not only shows that you have been paying attention, but also helps you to ensure that you've understood them correctly. Okay, so reflect and clarify. So what I understand from what you've said so far is this. Barrier number 3. Interrupting. What's that? बहुत खराब आदत है ये, बहुत. It's something we have all done at one time or another, maybe out of excitement, maybe impatience, or the belief we already know what the other person is going to say. Interrupting can feel the other person feel disrespected. It shuts the conversation. It's a habit that can damage both your professional as well as personal relationships if it's not addressed. So what is it that we can do here? We have to follow the wait rule. Before responding, ask yourself, is it necessary to say this right now? If the answer is no, this allows the other person to finish their thoughts and show that you respect their opportunity to express themselves fully. You are giving them the chance to complete their message. And that can give you an opportunity to come up with more thoughtful and relevant response. Practice patience. We already spoke about this. Ask open-ended question. Now, what's that? Instead of asking questions that can be answered in yes or no, try to ask open-ended questions that will encourage the other person to share more. For example, Nagaraju, can you tell me more about this? This seems to be really exciting, right? Sainath, can you tell me more about this? Vipul, how did that make you feel? And this deepens the conversation and shows that you are genuinely interested in what they have to say. So, do we start putting active listening into practice? Answer is yes. Right? In my own experience, I have found that more I practice active listening, the better I become as a communicator. So as you go forward from here, I encourage you to practice the strategies. Notice how they change the way you interact with others, how they deepen your connections, how they help you become not just a better communicator, but a better friend, a better partner, a better colleague, a better leader. Because at the end of the day, the best communicators aren't those who speak the most, but those who listen the most. And I want to say this towards the end. Being a great communicator starts with being a great listener. I hope you all have got some insights today on what's this all about and how you can start practicing it bit by bit. All right? And tomorrow we have another exciting session which starts again at the same time. And this seems to be really interesting. Work, diet, balance. Wow. Yes? So requesting you all to be there. Set your reminder for tomorrow, 7:55 p.m., not 8, because we'll start sharp at 8. Okay. Join our WhatsApp community if you are a first timer and if you haven't joined the WhatsApp community, because this is the community link where you will get all the session updates. So ensure that you're part of it. The link is in the chat box. Copy it or join the link directly. There's the Facebook group link, which you have to join in case you want the session documents, that is the checklist, the cheat sheets, or, a lot of things that we'll be sharing free. But for that, you'll have to join the Facebook community. Okay. And I'm planning to make a good ebook or a, PDF kind of a document for all the past sessions. And probably by next week, I'll share that. But join this because every day we have some new topics that we cover and you'll get something to take, something to refer. So join the Facebook group and repost and reshare this post within your circle and ask your friends, ask your circle to join and utilize this free learnings that we are doing every day, free learning session every day at 8 p.m. for 30 minutes. Yeah? Do you promise to share this with your friends? Give me a thumbs up. Superb. Amazing. Yeah? So great learning. Good night. And see you all tomorrow. Sharp at what time? 7:55. Superb. Good night. Take care.